That was Expressions of Unity Choir this morning. Redalia Kilson soloing this morning and conducting. This is Chakra over here, and Chet Schwalik, our musical director. Y'all got something new going on this morning. I know it's new. Well, what do you have over here, Chad? It's been a minute. Let me just come and look at it. Let me come and look at it. What's up here? All right, Chad. It's Easter Sunday. Come on, Chad. Rejoice! Rejoice! Woo! That's a Hammond. I don't know how I'm going to get through this, y'all. You're showing out today. Tell somebody in left and right, they're showing out today at Unity. They're just showing out. He's got the Hammond B3 up here. He knows I don't know how to act. Woo! All right. Give them some more love and appreciation. Welcome to Unity of Sacramento, where we mix it up real good. We've got a little bit of everything going on in here, yes? Let me just say, that is one of the privileges of leading a spiritual community where we're not stuck in religiosity. We don't have to abide by anybody's rules up in here. One rule that reigns in this spiritual community, and that is love, yes? Yeah, so you might have a little bit of your metaphysics stirred up with a little Pentecostal flair. We call that being Metacostal around here. No use in wasting the spirit, you know what I'm saying? This is a place that joy is building. This is a place that love is building. This is a place that happiness is building. You have a right to be happy around here. You have a right to be joyous around here. You have a right to be free. You have a right to have love around here. Tell somebody, know your rights. Go ahead and tell them, know your rights. Do you understand these rights as they have been read to you today? All right. I am so grateful to be home with you today for Resurrection Sunday. It is wonderful. And you all have the fires all fired up, hot in here, and it's a wonderful homecoming. I want to thank you all for last week's helping me celebrate one more trip around the sun, and as you can see, 21 never looked so good. I just keep going backwards with these chronological years. Thank you for helping me to celebrate. Thank you for your words and well wishes and all the love, the prayers and the support for what's happening with me at Harvard. Just a little bit of an update. We're in the home stretch now. May 25th is graduation. May 25th. And the last word I heard from my professor as I was presenting a draft of this very important final project proposal for a portfolio of work that I'm doing, she started her comments off by saying, "I am thrilled." And so when you get that kind of comment from the one who is responsible chiefly that you graduate, is looking good. It's looking good. He's going to walk May 25th. So I just want you to know. And you all are welcome to join us if you desire to be in Cambridge with us May 25th, come this week, Monday or Tuesday, when the newsletter goes out. All of those details are going to be available. It's on a Thursday, May 25th. And the details will be forthcoming for that. I also want to quickly say something wonderful has happened. You remember our work here in outreach in Tanzania, yes? You may recall that we produced a documentary related to that. Yes? You remember that? Well, I submitted that documentary for entrance into a film festival, and we will be featured in the Harvard Film Festival April 21st. Isn't that wonderful? So people will get to know of our work in Tanzania and our greater work and intention in the world, and we pray that we will receive some more partners in this work. Yes? All right. I'm looking at the clock. I'm going to get you out of here. We are starting a new lesson series called Where Can We Go From Up? Answering the call to rise. What is the powerful question that we're going to be engaging in over the next several weeks? What is it? Where can we go from up? Where can we go from up? Answering the call to rise. And this morning on this Resurrection Sunday, I want to zero in on a passage of Scripture related to the one that was read earlier, but I want to read these few verses and then present to you some ideas to support you at this present time on our resurrection journey. Because we seem to keep coming back to this point, yes? And that's all right. John 2:19 through 22, Jesus answered them saying, "Destroy this temple, and I will raise it again in 3 days." They replied, "It has taken 46 years to build this temple. Are you going to raise it in 3 days?" But the temple he had spoken of was his body. After he was raised from the dead, his disciples recalled what he said. Then they believed. When did they believe? After he was raised from the dead. Then what? They believed. They believed the scripture and the words that Jesus had spoken. And that ends those 3 verses. Let me talk a little bit from the subject, get up, come alive again. Get up, come alive, what about it? Again. Creation is one singular, infinite action that is forever occurring and reoccurring. Creation is one singular, infinite action. What kind of action? It is an infinite action that is forever occurring and reoccurring. So as we read the Genesis narrative, something about that Genesis narrative gives us the impression that creation ceased on that 7th day. There was no more creating happening, but creation is the ceaseless activity of the Spirit revealing itself in the formed world and in the formless world, in the material world and in the immaterial world, in the seen dimension and in the, unseen dimension. Creation is one singular, infinite action that is forever occurring. And you and I are heirs to this pattern of infinite creative, infinite orchestrating power so magnificently demonstrated in and through the life and teachings of Jesus the Christ. Jesus comes to us to reveal how, when we have a connection with the Creator, with the sender, we have resurrection power. We have the power to get up when we have been plagued by circumstances. We have the power to come back when we are faced with seeming, everybody say seeming, impossible odds. Anybody here know about a seeming impossible odd? It's seemingly impossible. And I believe it is because we accept it because, like the disciples in this passage, even though they walked with Jesus for a minimum of 3 years, taking the master class, sitting in the front row seat, witnessing the miracles, talk to me today. Notice the front row is half full today. Even though they were in great proximity on the physical dimension, they missed who Jesus was on the spiritual level. And this is what happens in this passage when they said, you're going to raise this body up in 46 days, this temple up in 46 days. So they had eyes and they could see not. They had ears and they could, hear not. When we're talking about what we share in common with this resurrected Christ, we share a connection to this great sender. We have a connection with what? The sender. The same one that sent Jesus sent you, sent me. Is that right? Yes. Tell somebody, return to the sender. Go ahead and tell them, return. Our goal is to know how to accelerate the pace by which we return to the sender when we are faced with things that want to hold us back and tear us down and destroy the life force that we have been given, to challenge the purposes for which we have been sent. Jesus kept trying to demonstrate over and over again this connection with the sender. And in understanding this connection with the sender, Jesus understood that the Spirit was always available and accessible. The original Wi-Fi wireless connection, come on. High speed is our connection to the source. Jesus had understanding with this and didn't have too much difficulty getting through. Do you understand what I'm saying? This understanding of this first idea, creation is one singular infinite action that is forever occurring and reoccurring, is a very powerful tool to have because I have access to this idea. Within each one of us, there is a pattern. There is a pattern. This pattern is a threefold pattern that is within us and is within all of creation. And if we can tap into this pattern in ourselves, all of creation will connect with us in this pattern. This threefold pattern is that of generation, degeneration, and regeneration. Say it with me. Come on. Generation, degeneration, regeneration. Once again, generation, degeneration, regeneration. Generation, our beginnings. Degeneration, our breakdowns. Regeneration, our breakthroughs. Have you got it? There is a pattern in our soul, in the soul of you and I, and in the soul of creation, that remembers that creation has never ceased. This is why they write songs like, "Be patient with me. God is not through with me yet." Tell somebody, God is not through with me yet. Huh? Some of But I want to remain in the place, in the space, in the proximity to the source where I can keep being fashioned and refashioned, molded and remolded, constructed and reconstructed by the invisible power that Jesus came to introduce us to. Yes? And so this pattern of generation, our beginnings, our degeneration, our breakdowns, in this regeneration, our capacity to come back, is the entire life of Jesus. Over and over showing people that they had access to this great power. The power of God in you cannot be short-circuited unless, everybody say unless. You short-circuit it. Are you with me? Now, Rev Kev, now you don't know what they told me at said hospital. You don't know what they told me on my job. You don't know what they told me at the bank. You don't know what they told. Do you hear what begins to happen? We begin to, in essence, follow in league with the disciples who said, unless you can show me first, prove it to me, show it to me, then I'll believe. But would it be all right with you, as Dr. Maria Nemeth would say, would it be all right with you if your life got easier? Huh? For some of you, it wouldn't. Some of you, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself. All of a sudden, you don't have a struggle story and a breakdown story and a sad story. You wouldn't recognize yourself. Would it be all right with you if you could believe it without having to have it proven to you first? And I'm saying to you that this was the secret that Jesus kept on demonstrating in his ministry. And because he understood this secret and was teaching it widely, suddenly, and I want you to hear this. This is the revolutionary part of Jesus' ministry. Suddenly, the elders and the authorities of his day started to be found out as hype. Did you hear what I said? That these hierarchies and these structures and these ways of puffing ourselves up to make ourselves look bigger, better, more important, who knows what I'm talking about? This is what Jesus was fighting with his ministry when he said to the person that was the least of these, the one that was overlooked, the one that was continuously ignored, laying by the pool for 38 years. You want to get up? Yeah. Well, then get on up. And what did Jesus do? Stood there and counted to 3. 1, 2, 3. And the scripture will then report, and then he picked up his bed. And he just didn't stand there and pick up his bed, because that's what we do sometimes. We have the experience. We have the healing, and then we pick up our sick bed, and we walk around and tell everybody how, girl, you wouldn't believe how sick I was. We hold on to the sickness or to the story about our past so that we can seem to have some sense of identity. But every time creation happens in your life, it is to make you new again. Everybody say to me, I'm turning the page. Come on, I'm turning the page. Come on, I'm turning the... This is what creation and recreation is all about. And so as we find ourselves, and we will, especially after moving through the world being shut down and having the experience of this traumatic pandemic that so many are still trying to reposition themselves in life. Entire cities being called failed cities. Businesses having rolled up their mats and drawn down the shades and locked the doors forever. Churches having completely closed their doors and never to reopen. I'm telling you that there is infinite creative power. And if we are willing to be candidates for what God can do, you can get up from there. You guys know I'm a Jesus guy, right? As New Thought and mystical and everything I am a Jesus guy because I think Jesus had it together, pulled it all together in his human form. He figured the thing out. But he had a way of directing a person past their preset limitation. Someone comes to him with a withered hand, waiting for Jesus to do something with their withered hand. Jesus is speaking, hear me, because I'm going to help us to connect this to ourselves. Jesus is speaking to this power of regeneration that is within all of creation, and that when I can accept it for myself and get in alignment with this idea that there's something in all of creation that wants me to have a comeback, there's something in all of creation conspiring for me to have my highest good and greatest joy, there's something in all of creation waiting for me to have the moment of truth. There's something in all of creation. And so Jesus, recognizing this, would say to someone who had a seeming impossible condition, stretch forth your hand. Stretch forth your, they told me, stretch, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to this regenerating power that I know is the truth of you, not the facts of you. Don't get confused with the facts of your experience. The truth of you is that you're made perfect, whole, and complete, and the very power of God is in you, waiting to rise up. Even today. We have to be careful what we get quickly in agreement with. I'm reminded of an episode in my life where my best friend, one of my best friends, I have two, one of my best friends from college and then Rebbe, let me clarify since he's sitting in the room. Have a visit after church. His wife had been given a short time to live after having a sickness that the doctors really didn't understand, and they told her after many years of this sickness that she was we can't do anything else for her. She's got about 2 weeks to live. And so, knowing my brother like I know him, we're so connected that I could hear the crack in his voice. Now, sometimes you get that phone call and it's, hey, I'm like, I'm on my way. I literally said, I'll be there on the next jet. He says, I need you to come. So I fly to Chicago after a service here, go to the hospital where they are basically saying to him and his wife, there's nothing more we can do for you. You have 2 weeks to live. And they had been married for over a decade, and she had been in this sort of ill state for about 11 years. So they were ready to throw in the towel. So they started arranging hospice care and all of that. But while we were at the hospital, he said, Rev, I want you to pray with me and my wife. So I took him aside away from the bed. I said, what do you want me to pray for? Listen to this. I said, what do you want me to pray for? Because you see, he had been with her all these many years, and he and his family and her family had lived through all of the difficulty of the sickness. You know what I'm saying? And so perhaps he was ready, and they were ready, and she was ready to make the transition. He says, I'm going to ask her. Okay, so he asked her. And she gave an indication saying to him, I want to live. I said, all right. Nothing to God. So we went there and we began to pray. And after we prayed, shortly thereafter, I came home. Waiting for what came next was all I can do, like anybody in their family. Hospice comes in and sets it all up and all the things that they do. Forgetting about this for a moment, I get busy in my life with ministry, and I call back and I say, Berry, how are things going? He said, Rev, she's doing great. I said, what do you mean she's doing great? She's doing great. She was supposed to be gone 2 weeks. Beloveds, that was 5 years ago. She's still alive today. Doing what? Great. Tell somebody, don't confuse me with the facts. Don't confuse me with the facts. Every now and again, we have to do like the master teacher did and speak to the truth of the condition. Look beyond what is appearing before us and then say, on a count of 3, we're going to be done with this foolishness. On a count of 3, I'm giving up this depression story. On a count of 3, I'm laying down my story about how poor and lack of prosperity I should have. On a count of 3, I'm walking out of the grave clothes that I've been wearing. On a count of 3, I am getting up from here. This is what the master teacher is saying. I don't care what you do to this thing, this physical body. I'm more than the physical body. I'm more than the garment of clothes that I'm wearing. I am spirit expressing in form. What are you? Come on, say it with me. I am spirit expressing in form. So when we find ourselves presented with the facts, whatever the facts of those experiences happen to be, and they are real. And I want to recognize something here. I know we have a larger framework in which our lives are lived. And there are laws that have to be changed. And there are wicked forces in the world that have to be challenged and brought down. Do you understand what I'm saying? I understand all of that. But I don't mind working with a few exceptions to the rule. Did you hear what I say? Say it with me, I am an exception to the rule today. I am an exception to the rule today. Yeah, you can choose to be an exception to the rule. Jesus was walking around showing how we can be exceptional in our lives. Not that I'm better than you and that I have more power and access than you, but in this moment I'm choosing my regenerative, my resurrection power, my option to get up. Have you got it? 3 things I want you to remember today as you are faced with getting stuck in the phase of degeneration. Degeneration. You can fill in the blank for what degeneration is for you. Maybe it's procrastination. Maybe it is chronic illness. Maybe it is a deep, deep sense of loneliness and isolatedness. I don't know what it is that's got you locked in the tomb. But when you're in that place where you are at that phase of degeneration, I got 3 things I want you to do. Number 1, remember who you are. Say with me, I remember who I am. You are made in the spiritual image and likeness of God. Let's take it as an affirmation. They want to say it today. Come on, that's right. Come on. I am made in the spiritual image and likeness of God. Greater is he that is in me than anything in the world. So when you're faced with those set of facts that seems to entomb you, step back and remember, I am made in the image and likeness of God. Creation is ceaseless and infinite creative power is active in me right here and right now. I'm getting tapped in, turned on, and tuned into it right now. I think I just stole something from Abraham Hicks. Is that Esther Hicks? I'll give it back to her right after this service. That's number one. Remember who you are. Number two, remember why you're here. Say with me, I remember why I'm here. I remember why I'm here. That's what keeps a lot of us in the tomb. That's what stops us from having our great overcoming and resurrection. We cannot remember why I'm here. I know that I'm here. I don't know why I'm here. So I'm just walking around infinitely in the wilderness. Dizzy on the sea of indecision. Toggling back and forth, can't make up my mind because I forgot why I am here. Here's why you are here. You are here. I am here to be an expression of the infinite. Come on, say, I'm here to be an expression of the infinite. What does that mean? I am here to powerfully deliver my gifts on the planet. I'm here to powerfully deliver my skills and talents and service on the planet. There is something for me to deliver to the earth that as I deliver the earth, more heaven is anchored here. Are you with me this morning? I've got to remember that. This is the powerful thing about Jesus, irrespective of what was going on. And he was so powerful. You know, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but he was like a holy thug. He told the powers that be in their faces. Huh? Oh, listen, I don't know what you're thinking about doing to this thing right here. But on the count of three, give me 3 days. Tell somebody, give me 3 days. Telling everybody to plan get your life in order because COVID-19 happened. Hey, give me 3 days. Tell somebody, give me 3 days. I didn't get a memo from God that it was my time yet. Are you hearing me today? Told that to the scribes, the Pharisees, the Caesars, and everybody in between. Why? Because he was aware of his unfailing connection with the source. He wasn't talking in his own ego strength. He was speaking from an awareness that there's something greater that is orchestrating this whole thing. And I am indivisible from it. Are you with me? We're going to remember what? Who you are. Remember why you are, and then remember what he said. I want you to remember what he said, because every now and again, we need to be connected to something and someone who has walked this walk and knows the road, who is demonstrating a higher level of consciousness. Hook me up with that one. Here's what the master teacher says that is indicative of this whole conversation of resurrection. Be of good cheer, for I have already overcome the world. In other words, if I can do it, and if you are willing to just walk in my name, walk in my nature, walk like I walk. If I say walk over here, you walk right over there. If I ask you to sit right down here, I want you to sit right down there, because I have something that I know for sure. Be of good cheer. At the divinity school, one of the advantages that I have of being at Harvard and studying, and I don't watch the news a whole lot. I'm down to 1% news intake at this point. You know how I know? You know why? Because I came there to get my mind renewed. And so if my same diet is the news feed, then it's possible that there's going to be a cycle of similar reactive behavior. There may not be the same, another version of me that I'm trying to reveal. Here's what I know about so-called bad news. Eventually, somebody's going to bring it to you. Am I telling the truth? So I don't have to even turn it on. I don't have to subscribe. I don't have to renew my subscription to these. Somebody's going to tell it to me. And so at the divinity school, I've been working on self and working on soul and working through a lot. And every now and again, it's brought to my attention that something has happened in the world of effects. And we, in many of our classes, we take time to process that through. Sometimes we'll pray it through and all of that. And the question sometimes comes up, so how are you checking in? And I said in one of my classes, I said, since you all got all the other bases covered, I'm joy-cotton today. Did you hear what I said? I'm doing what? I'm joy-cotton. Since I have the privilege to be in this ivory tower, and some are not available to hold this seat, I'm not going to allow my vibration to be sunk so low that I can't tap into the creative power that will help me to bring a solution to help people be better. Are you hearing me today? I'm joy-cotton. I'm refusing. I don't care how dismal and bad and dark the news is, because it seems to get worse. I'm holding the vibration of peace. I'm holding the vibration of love. I'm holding the vibration of joy in the midst of it. Well, Rev Cab, that doesn't make you too serious a person then. It is the weak-minded that so easily succumb to the world of appearances. It's easy to get into the train of ain't it awful? Here comes Jesus with his good news. Gospel. This good news, this gospel, is there to dispel the myth that there's anything other than the one thing that is always happening, and that is infinite creative power is seeking to express itself most fully in and through us so that heaven can break out in time. The real world is heaven. The real world is love. The real world is joy. Don't believe the hype. Stop believing the hype, people. And the minute you and I can get so full of heaven, then everything that looks like hell is going to start running away from your existence. But if you got so much hell in you, guess what you're going to see at the north and the south and the east and the west and in all of your experiences, everything that you're filled with. So fill yourself with love and you'll attract love to you. Fill yourself with joy and you'll attract joy to you. Fill yourself with harmony and peace of mind and you will start attracting that to you. And then what happens is like will attract like, and where you are, there will be resurrecting power. Where you are, you will start to call the things that be not as though they were. You'll be able to say with Jesus, Lazarus, come forth. I don't know how I'm going to pay this scholarship. Scholarship! Come forth. In some of my classes, I'm sitting with, and I'm not kidding you, billionaire children and children of people who colonized this country. I'm talking about a kind of wealth that it's so much wealth that they're in there repenting. Repenting. I'm living my life in repentance of the erroneous ways of my forebearers. And I'm here to address and readdress some of the global harms that were happened because my father and grandfathers were industrialists and so forth. You hear me? How did you get here, Rev Kev? As I was speaking to a person who the building is named after her family. How did you get here? I said, like I always get here. I walk by faith. And come on, not by sight. And if there's a scholarship God that wants me to go to Harvard, I'm going to tap into the God of the scholarship. And I'm sitting in the room, table, because there are a few other people who believed in that same God. Are you with me? And we all have an equal stake in what the world becomes. I'm just a little hungrier than the next person. But what we bring back to this world, what we bring back from this experience is our realization that though the master teacher is not with us in the physical, I won't leave you alone. Lo, I will be with you. I'll be with you in the darkness of your fear and your depression. I will be with you in the hospital room when no family wants to show up. I will be with you. I will be with you when they hand you the pink slip. I will be with you when your loved one seems to travel from this life to the next life. I will be with you. I will be with you when all men speak ill of you. They have nothing positive to say about you. I will be with you. You have to remember what Jesus understood, that one with God is a majority. I will be with you. Weeping, beloveds, may endure for a night. But if you can remember, on the count of 1 and a 2 and a 3, I might be down, but I'm not out. 1, I remember who I am. 2, I remember why I'm here. 3, I remember what he said. And then I can rise up and get up, pick up my bed and walk and do the greater things that I have been sent here to do. Not just me, but everyone. This is the power that we've been given. Let's take this power. Let's take this power and heal our planet. Let's take this power and rid the world of racism and discrimination. Let's take this power and give women the control back over their bodies. Take this power. take this power and change the world. And so it is written, and so I have spoken it, and so you have heard it, and so it is. God bless you. Thank you, everyone.